Good afternoon and welcome to Archbishop Carroll High and welcome to the Patriots. Today's contest is the Lady Patriots of Archbishop Carroll versus the Lady Crusaders of Lansdale Catholic in a PCL showdown. Archbishop Carroll High School, the Philadelphia Catholic League, PIOA, all appropriate sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting our participants in a positive manner. Any profanity, derogatory comments, or intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, officials, or team representatives will not be tolerated in our grounds room room. Now please stand for prayer, followed by the worship hymn. We thank God for allowing blessing the student athletes from Archbishop Carroll and Lansdale Catholic with their gifts and talents. We strive to uphold Christian and gospel values in all we do. May Almighty God bless our competition, children, coaches, officials, and all here present. We ask this through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now please stand for the national anthem. Having some technical difficulty. Okay, we're going to chalk this one up and just say God bless America. I apologize for any technical difficulties. We're going to proceed and move forward with the starting lineups instead. All right, so we're visiting Lansdale Catholic Lady Crusaders, number 5, Olivia Michelle. Number 15, Gabby Casey. Number 14, Lauren Edwards. Number 22, Sandy Pugh. And number 4, Cassie Selena. Lady Crusaders are coached by Eric Higgin. Now for your Archbishop Carroll, Lady Patriots, number 21, Carly Doherty. Number 44, Maggie Grant. Number 24, Grace O'Neill. Number 14, Maddie Sheridan. And number 22, Taylor Wilson. Lady Patriots are coached by Brady Shields. Today's officials are Alexa McCann, Aaron Cunningham Morris, and Walter Connor. Let's have a good one.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a PCL battle between the Lady Crusaders of Lansdale Catholic and your Lady Patriots of Archbishop Carroll. I'm Tommy Anderson alongside Billy Englert with the Carroll live stream team. This is a big game here for the Patriots as they cannot afford to lose to Lansdale Catholic, but LC comes into this one 0-6, still looking for their first win of the year.
Yeah, Tommy, you'll mention it later in our broadcast about playoff scenarios for Carroll to get into the championship game, again with no playoff games this year, so only 2 teams make it. Carroll, they need to win out.
All right, and our starters for tonight, Lansdale Catholic, you've got Gabby Casey, Lauren Edwards, Olivia Bacella, Sam McHugh, and Cassie Solino. The tip is won by Lansdale. And for Carroll, Grace O'Neill, Taylor Wilson, Carly Doherty, Meg Sheridan, and Maggie Grant. And we are underway. It's Gabby Casey. She goes to Lauren Edwards. Now Solino with it, O'Neill on her. Gabby Casey is Lansdale's leader. She's backing in on Doherty, picks up her dribble. She's stuck. Gets it to Bacella. Bacella drives. Solino into the lane, stops, kicks to Casey. Gonna be a deep 3 from Bacella, and she drills it. Olivia Bacella, the deep 3 to get Lansdale on the board. They lead this one 3-0.
Carroll, that was great defense there, but a better shot from Bocella.
It'll be the Patriots now. Grace O'Neal lines up a three-pointer. Just long. Rebound to Edwards. And Casey will bring it up for the Crusaders the other way. Bocella, she's left open again. Long on that one. The Patriots are going to keep an eye on her. B. O'Neal now the other way. Patriots coming off of a loss yesterday to Cardinal O'Hara, 55-37, as Doherty and Grace O'Neal can't connect on that pass and it's turned over.
And here's that press, Tommy. We said it before the game, this could be very lethal to a team that doesn't have any wins on the season. Carroll trying to force some turnovers now.
It'll be Casey now into the lane, stops falling down, kicks it in the corner. That's going to be Solino who drills the long two. And if you're Lansdale Catholic, this is the start you wanted here against the Patriots. And they're going to call that a three, actually. We'll see if they review it. It looks like she had a foot on the line there. It's going to be a jump ball. It'll stay here with the Patriots as Casey ties up Sheridan. But as it stands now, it's Lansdale Catholic 6-0.
Carroll, if you're Carroll, you got to score here. Yes, it's only 6-0, but if Lansdale can just keep making threes, it's going to be hard to come back in this one.
We've seen Lansdale, they are 0-6, but they pushed West Catholic to the brink, only losing by 1 to them. They've had success as Taylor Wilson was poked in the eye. No call. Maggie Grant left open for three. No good. So the Patriots struggled to shoot it yesterday in the loss to O'Hara.
And Tommy, during that last jump ball, they actually did change that 3 to a 2. So Lansdale only leads 5-0 now.
Good call there, Billy, as Carroll still sticking with this press, but Lansdale breaks it easily up to Casey. Sheridan on her. It's going to be stolen away by Carly Doherty. He's going to stop with it. Kick to Grant. Meg Sheridan tees up a three. That's well short, but Taylor Wilson saves it. Doherty underneath to Maggie Grant, who lays it up and in. Good look there from Doherty to Maggie Grant for Carroll's first bucket. They trail by 3 here.
That's a great look from Doherty. Found Grant wide open in the paint.
Nice job by Taylor Wilson to set up a second chance opportunity there by tipping out that rebound. Getting Carroll on the board here. It's going to be a drive by Edwards. Can't hit. Casey with her rebound there. Floats up 2 off the backboard and in. Gabby Casey gets her first bucket. Lansdale back up 5.
Lansdale showing today that they want to end Carroll's playoff hopes. They want to get their first win today.
Taylor Wilson driving all the way in. Gets a nice roll. Taylor Wilson's first bucket. She had 6 in the loss against O'Hara yesterday. Casey now trapped by Sheridan and O'Neal. Bocella tries another 3. That's no good.
Lansdale definitely not afraid to shoot it, Tommy.
Especially Bocella. That was her 3rd attempt already. Doherty along the baseline. She's trapped. Gets to Taylor Wilson, who again drives in and kicks to Grace O'Neal in rhythm for 3. No good. Rebound is fought for. And that looks like it's going to be off of Taylor Wilson as she was fighting for it with Solino. It's going to be Lansdale Catholic basketball.
Well, Tommy, you see Taylor Wilson showing hustle there. The real question is how long can these starters for Carroll really last? They just played yesterday at the same time, so 24 hours ago. So you got to be thinking that they're a bit exhausted.
As Sheridan draws the foul in the corner there on Casey, that's going to be her first. But you're right, Billy. You're wondering if you see some of these threes coming up short for Carroll, or do they have tired legs? And we'll see if that becomes a factor later in the game. As these players, as Carroll does play a short rotation, could they be tired feeling those effects from that back-to-back? Trapped in the corner is Edwards, but she finds Bocella. She resets. Now to Edwards. And Solino was pushed by Doherty. No call. It's going to be a Carroll steal. Maggie Grant the other way to Meg Sheridan. Doherty. Taylor Wilson lines up a 3. That's just long. Rebound by Sam McHugh, but she's trapped. But finds Edwards. Good job on the glass so far from Lansdale. As we thought that could be a factor. And it's going to be Meg Sheridan picking up the blocking foul. That's her second. That's big for the Patriots. Meg Sheridan is an elite backcourt defender. And we'll see Brooke Wilson come in for her. Brooke celebrating her 15th birthday today.
Happy birthday to Brooke. Hopefully we can get her a win today.
Sure, that would be just what she wants on her birthday. It's going to be dribbled off of Casey's foot. Good pressure there from the Patriots. We'll go the other way. Carroll losing 2 games in a row. Lost to West Catholic last time we were here in an overtime thriller. And then losing to O'Hara yesterday. Carroll needs this victory. As will be Brooke Wilson stops into the lane to Doherty. Fakes nicely, and another dump off to Grant, who misses the 2. Another good look there from Doherty to Grant, but Grant couldn't finish that one.
You mentioned that thriller that was last week here at Carroll, Tommy. Brooke Wilson really showed how good of a bench player she is, really showing she's the 6th man, you could say, for Carroll.
Without question. Brooke does play starters minutes, even though she comes off the bench as Edwards lines up a 3. No good. Taylor Wilson comes down with the rebound in that West Catholic game. Taylor was fantastic. She had 25 and 12, but it wasn't enough. The Patriots fell in that one. In the middle now to Doherty. Maggie Grant in the corner for 3. Just long. Carroll struggling to hit the 3 as Brooke Wilson's going to get called the foul away from the basket against Gabby Casey. But we saw, as we said earlier in the broadcast, Carroll did struggle to shoot it, especially from deep against O'Hara. O'Hara was hot the whole game, but it looks like their struggles from deep have been continuing, at least so far early on in this game.
Especially with great passing. They've gotten some open looks. They just have yet to knock them in.
Carroll needs to keep shooting with confidence, though. As Brooke Wilson intercepts that pass, that looked like it was some miscommunication there. She stops. No good. Her sister Taylor gets the rebound. Now to O'Neal. O'Neal fading away. The 2 rattles out. Brooke Wilson, though, cleans up the miss. Taylor Wilson, good look from 3. No good. O'Neal tries to save it. It'll be Lansdale Catholic basketball. But if you're the Patriots, like you said, Billy, we're getting quality looks. You just got to keep shooting with confidence, and they're going to start to fall.
Yeah, and we're getting extra possessions, too. Forcing turnovers, getting rebounds. We'll see when Carroll starts to get those buckets to go.
Casey able to bring it up here. Lansdale has numbers if they want it. Casey will stop with a 3. No good. O'Neal with the rebound. Up to Maggie Grant. Grant kicked it to Brooke Wilson. Thought about a 3. Now into the lane to Grant, who stops. Taylor Wilson puts up another. Just long again. Brooke Wilson tracks it down into the lane to her sister Taylor. Nicely there, who lays it up and in. Good connection from the sisters as Taylor Wilson gets her 2nd bucket. Give her 4.
Yeah, that was a great inside look by Brooke Wilson. Found the cutting Taylor Wilson for the easy layup.
Now it'll be Edwards. She's going into the lane. Lays up 2, no good, but Casey crashes the glass. But O'Neal takes that away from her. Just over a minute to go here in this first quarter. Quick game so far. As Taylor Wilson's going to get called for the travel there. He couldn't get that dribble down.
And Tommy, there is that deep bench. We're seeing Chloe Blackley come in. We haven't seen her a lot, but she's coming in now. Definitely thinking about, Carroll being tired.
Especially with Sheridan with those 2 fouls. It's going to require Chloe Blackley to play some big minutes here. We'll see what the freshman can do. Carly Doherty steals it off the inbound. She stops. Taylor Wilson along the baseline here. Kicks it to O'Neal. O'Neal lines up a 3. Got it! Grace O'Neal snaps the streak from Carroll from deep, and she knocks down her first. That's her first bucket.
And again, great passing led to the wide open shot by Grace O'Neal.
Carroll's first lead of the ball game here. Going to be McHugh into Casey now. That's a good look from Edwards from deep. That's well off. O'Neal with it now.
We're seeing a lot of 3s from Lansdale, Tommy.
Good
Great
find
look
from Taylor Wilson to Blackley, who can't finish it. She gets her own miss, loses it now. It's going to be Casey now with 25 seconds to go. But Lansdale, I think they want to win this game. They're going to live and die by the 3. As they hit a couple long jumpers earlier, but they've been struggling since then. We'll see if Carroll can capitalize on their misses.
Yeah,
no good. Brooke Wilson comes down with the rebound there. 10 seconds to go. Brooke Wilson goes all the way in. She's fouled. She will go to the line for her first points. Next moment here, I'd like to give a shout out to Pure Fire Pizza in Collegeville. They regularly play local high school sports for their customers. And they have Carroll basketball on their TVs today. So if you want to go find some good pizza, as O'Neal lines up a three, that's no good. Casey pulling up from half court, that's no good. But if you want to go find some great pizza, a great place, go head over to Pure Fire Pizza. It's located across from the Movie Tavern in Providence Town Center in Collegeville. Thank you, Pure Fire Pizza, for playing this broadcast.
And Tommy, is that the quarter wind down? Saw Grace O'Neal miss that three. Carroll up 9-7. It'll be interesting to see how they can get some more points on the board. They're definitely playing the defense, and that's a big part for Lansdale, why they're shooting so many threes. They're not getting the good looks inside as Carroll is, because Carroll's trap forced some big turnovers in that first quarter, Tom.
You're right. Carroll's really forcing Lansdale to settle for some jumpers. They made a couple earlier, as I mentioned, but they haven't got any of the faults towards the latter half of that first quarter. But Carroll does take the lead in this one. Even though they haven't shot particularly well, they still are up 2, and they'll look to build on that here. As I think the key for Carroll is, if these threes aren't falling, try to drive and get to the line and force Lansdale to get into some foul trouble. Only 1 foul in the first quarter from Lansdale. We saw Brooke Wilson there with the nice drive at the end of the quarter. I thought she was fouled going up for 2, but they called it on the floor. But regardless, getting to the line, getting to the rim could bode well for the Patriots here going forward in this one.
Yeah, and Lansdale, they've only committed 1 foul in that first quarter. They're not a physical team, and Carroll playing a lot more physical. They only have 3 fouls, but really in the paint. They've gotten rebounds, and they've shown the hustle that this Carroll basketball girls team is all about.
You're right with that, Billy. O'Neal on Casey on the inbound, but she finds Bocella. Bocella trapped with it now, and Grace O'Neal takes that away. Grant comes up with it. It'll be Grace O'Neal going the other way. She kicked it to Brooke Wilson, who drives in. Kicks it to Doherty for the mid-range 2, and she drills that one. Carly Doherty, very deadly from mid-range. She knocks that in off of the assist from Brooke Wilson.
Also, between the quarters, Maggie Grant checked back in for Chloe Blackley.
It's going to be McHugh underneath. She goes up, leaves that short, gets her own miss. It's partially blocked, and Casey comes down with it here. For Carroll, you're going to limit these Lansdale second chance opportunities. But Carroll's pressure is affecting how Lansdale's operating in this one. Edwards now, Grant on Herschel, flip up 2. Won't go. Taylor Wilson now to O'Neal. O'Neal in transition stops. Ball is going to be kicked by Gabby Casey. O'Neal was looking for Brooke Wilson on the wing there.
Tommy, one thing I'm seeing from up here is Carroll's just out hustling Lansdale right now. Even though Carroll played yesterday, Lansdale just looks a little bit slower running down the court.
You're right. Carroll is the quicker team. And you said earlier, they also are the more physical team. Carroll's just going to need to use that athleticism to their advantage in this one. Casey with it now. She drives in. Goes up nicely for 2. It's going to be a late whistle there. See who that's on. So that's going to be on Doherty. Be her first. But it looked like the official there waited to see if Casey made the shot before calling the foul, which you don't really want to see. You want the foul called when you see it. Gabby Casey knocks down the first. In their matchup earlier in the year, in mid-February, Gabby Casey led all scorers with 20, but it wasn't enough for her as Carroll won easily in that one. Nice looking free throws there from Casey as she goes 2 for 2. Cuts this Carroll lead to 2.
Carroll definitely wants to create some separation here in this second quarter.
Wilson to Doherty. Taylor Wilson with a nice pump fake. Takes the long 2, no good. Brooke Wilson comes down with the rebound there. She's had a number of offensive rebounds already in this one.
Great pass by Grant.
Going to be Doherty with the long 2. Foot was on the line, no good. And another offensive rebound from Brooke Wilson, who's just out hustling the Crusaders so far. As O'Neal with the great look underneath to Maggie Grant. Good connection from the pair of juniors there. Maggie Grant gets her second bucket of the game. Give her 4.
Yeah, Tommy, what a great pass by O'Neal and a great layup by Maggie Grant as we'll see Lansdale take their first time out of the game here.
The road ahead will be a difficult one for the Patriots, as they still have 2 elite PCL teams on the remainder of their schedule. They have Wood coming up on Tuesday here at home in a major contest that has some definitely has some championship implications in that one. Archbishop Wood looks like they're well on their way to the #1 seed and a spot in the championship. But you got teams like West Catholic, Cardinal O'Hara, and Carroll who are still battling for that second spot. It'll be really interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out, and we have some playoff scenarios that we're going to bring to you later in the broadcast as we try to break it down.
All I know is Carroll needs to win today, and then they can look forward to winning Tuesday.
Yes, you can't overlook. This could be the type of game where you know you're playing Wood on Tuesday. You could overlook Lansdale Catholic, as we say they are winners of the year, but you can't do that. We already saw that happen with West Catholic. They kind of overlooked Prendy and lost that game to them. But Coach Shields looks to have them well equipped to win this one and stay focused on the task at hand here as Brooke Wilson drives into the lane. She's fouled. She'll go to the line.
Great job by Wilson driving to the paint. There were 3 Lansdale defenders in there, but she still just powered through driving the foul.
That foul's going to be on Aaron Clark, who was checked into the game. It's the first sub for the Crusaders. Brooke Wilson leaves that short. Now we see Caitlin Quinn for the first time getting Sam McHugh.
And for Carly Doherty, Chloe Blackley checked in. And so did Meg Sheridan. She's back in the game.
Yeah, Sheridan is back with those 2 fouls as Bocella brings it up the floor. Brooke Wilson went 1 of 2 from the line there. Carroll leading by 5, their largest of the game. Casey on O'Neal guarding her. Now inside to Quinn. Goes up nicely there, but leaves it short. Rebound to Clark. Grace O'Neal wanted to draw the charge on Casey there. No call, but Casey puts it up and in, plus the foul. It's going to be on Chloe Bleckley. And that'll be her first. As Gabby Casey converts and will go to the line for 1 more. Just long. O'Neal tries to track down the rebound, but can't save it. That's going to be Crusader basketball. Gabby Casey, though, with those 6 points, is Lansdale's leader. She was second-team All-Catholic in the Blue Division last year, alongside teammate Lauren Edwards. But this is a big step for Lansdale Catholic. They were 10-0 last year in the Blue Division. As a result, we're bumped up to the Red Division as Bleckley with the steal here. Brooke Wilson lines up a 3, and she's got it. The birthday girl with her first field goal. She's got 4. Nice looking 3 there as O'Neal steals it away off the inbounds to Maggie Grant. And this is the type of pressure that Carroll is looking to have in forced turnovers.
Most definitely. And there's another turnover from Lansdale.
O'Neal couldn't hit that one. It's going to be Quinn going the other way, but Bleckley takes it away from her. But you can just see Carroll almost flips the switch there, and their pressure intensifies as O'Neal with another great look to Maggie Grant. That's going to be a timeout from Lansdale as they've lost Maggie Grant, just cutting into the basket 2 or 3 times today, and O'Neal's been able to find her for some easy 2s.
And Carroll just showing how dynamic that press is. It went from a 5-point lead to a 10-point lead in probably under 10 seconds after about 3 turnovers from Lansdale.
Yes, this is the type of pressure. So Carroll looked like they were a little asleep there in the first quarter. Not their sharpest quarter by any stretch of the imagination, but they came out in the second on a mission. They've extended this lead for their first double-digit lead of the game to 10 points.
Yeah, and just the hustle. We saw Caitlin Quinn. She grabbed the ball, ran up the court, and there were 3 Carroll defenders right by her side stealing the ball away and got it down the court for Grace O'Neal to hit Maggie Grant with that open look.
Yeah, so that was that last possession you were just talking about. That was a nice steal from Bleckley coming from behind, who's had to play some minutes here for Coach Shields. And she's played well. As we see Grace O'Neal sitting now. You don't see that very often. I'm not sure if I've seen that all season. But Bleckley's going to have to step up here in her absence as Gabby Casey brings it up the floor nicely there, breaking the trap from Sheridan and Brooke Wilson. And it's going to be Clark there going up for 2, but her shot is partially blocked, and it'll stay here with the Lady Crusaders.
Yeah, and Blackley, she also has to play huge with, someone who plays in the rotation. Cortland Schumacher, she's not here today, so. And with Meg Sheridan with 2 fouls, Carroll has to use someone.
As Casey lays in 2 there. Gabby Casey has 8 now, tied with Maggie Grant to lead all scores. We'll see who takes over the point guard role. It might be Sheridan for the Patriots. Now Bleckley driving in, kicks to Maggie Grant. She'll have a 3, rims out. Taylor Wilson on the offensive glass, gets her miss, no good, gets it back. It's going to be a jump ball that'll stay here with the Patriots. Looked like Taylor Wilson might have been fouled there. As Lansdale Catholic players were kind of grabbing her arm, but they call a jump ball regardless, and it'll stay here. Grant off the inbounds. Gets it to the outlet, Taylor Wilson. Kicks to her sister. Bleckley now, Meg Sheridan to Grant. Wilson pumps. Taylor Wilson puts up 2, just long again. And Brooke Wilson again, just wants the ball more, crashes the rebound. Meg Sheridan thought about a 3. She had 3 of those in the loss against O'Hara, but she drives all the way in and lays in 2 for her first bucket. Nice take from Meg Sheridan, who led all Carroll scores in that loss with 11 points.
That was a great take, but also a great fake. Fake the pass to Chloe. Blackley drives in, faked out the defender.
Carroll now back to this 10-point advantage. It'll be Casey here, who's done everything in her power to keep Lansdale in this one.
Got to guard Casey from out there. We've seen it earlier. She can make the 3 from out there.
It's going to be 5 seconds called on Casey. So the Lansdale Catholic players really not moving around, getting open, forcing Casey to hold that ball for 5 seconds.
And definitely the momentum of this game going to Carroll. Definitely forcing some mental mistakes from Lansdale, especially forcing all the turnovers.
Sheridan fakes, now to Brooke Wilson. To her sister for the mid-range 2. Another Brooke to Taylor connection as Taylor Wilson's got her 3rd bucket for 6. Again pressured. Lansdale has numbers. It's going to be Edwards now to McHugh, who puts up 2, leaves it short, gets her own miss. And it's blocked by Taylor Wilson, but they're going to call a foul. Taylor Wilson not quite sure what she did on that one, and I tend to agree with her. Didn't look like she did much. Must have gotten her with the body. McHugh knocks down the free throw for her first point of the night. Or of the afternoon, I should say. Nice looking free throws there from McHugh. But Carroll really looking to push the tempo here, bringing it up the floor in a hurry. Brooke to Taylor again. We've seen that 3 times already tonight. Taylor Wilson has 8. Tied with Maggie Grant for the Carroll leading points today.
Brooke Wilson would love to get not only a double-double, but a triple-double. She's getting the rebounds, now the assists, and she already has 4 points.
Right, we'll have to keep an eye on that later in the game as Brooke Wilson's playing a fantastic game on her birthday. Taylor Wilson saves the rebound, and Bleckley's going to push the other way to Sheridan. Meg Sheridan driving in to Taylor Wilson, who fakes mid-range 2. No good. And Casey's going to reset here for the Crusaders, who trail by 12.
And Tommy, you mentioned this earlier. Grace O'Neill got a rest on the bench. She's been on there for about 2-3 minutes now. We haven't seen her not only sit in a game this season, but sit for this long in a game.
Yes, it's interesting to see how these Patriots are playing without their leader. And they have done quite well with O'Neill on the bench. It's going to be Taylor Wilson underneath to Maggie Grant. Another nice look. Maggie Grant into double figures with 10.
Great layup, the under the basket scoop by Grant. Seen that a couple times.
It's a tough finish that she gets to go. And as we mentioned, it's the young players playing for Carroll. As Doherty and O'Neill, Carroll's most experienced players, are on the bench. But they've been able to extend this lead regardless, just under a minute now here in this first half.
Definitely the fresh legs of Wilson and Blackley. You know, Brooke Wilson did play yesterday. But letting their leaders like O'Neill, who looks like she's going to check back in here, let their legs rest after playing probably the full game yesterday at O'Hara. O'Neal might come in for Sheridan as that was her third.
You're right, Billy. As Clark misses that free throw, O'Neal back for Sheridan is going to have to sit with those 3 fouls. We have seen her get into some foul trouble, and that's going to be something that maybe the Patriots can afford today. But they're going to need Meg Sheridan on the floor against Archbishop Wood on Tuesday as Clark splits a pair of free throws there, and she checks out. Solino back in now.
And as soon as O'Neal comes in, she's showing the leader she is, doing all the play calling here for Carroll.
Going to be some miscommunication there. O'Neal throws that one out of bounds. Only 3 points for Grace O'Neal today, but it's really been Maggie Grant, Taylor Wilson stepping up and picking up the scoring slack in this one.
Although she only has 3 points, Grace O'Neal does much more than just light up the scoreboard. Her leadership helps both the defense and offense for Carroll, and she creates open looks for girls like Maggie Grant and Taylor Wilson.
You're right with that. Grace also one of the more elite defensive players in the Catholic League. Can score at all levels as we see her driving in, finishes, or doesn't finish. Looked like that was going in. She goes to the line. That's going to be on Bocella.
That's her second. So that's also something to keep an eye on.
O'Neal gets her first points of the second quarter. But as we were saying, just someone who impacts the game in every way possible. Another great season from the junior. He was first team All-Catholic last year and is well on her way to that again this year.
Although they're up by 14, Carroll's still going with that press. It's their defense, and it works so well.
Casey goes behind the back. It's going to be Solino. No good. 5 seconds on the clock. Bleckley up to Grant. 3 seconds. 2. Deep 3 from Grant. Almost got it to go. But that will end the half as Carroll leads this one 31-16. All right, so we're just about ready to start the second half here. It's Tommy Anderson alongside Billy Engler. Billy, give us Carroll's stats in the first half.
Well, Carroll up by 14 here, getting ready to start the second half. Grace O'Neill has 5, Taylor Wilson has 8, Meg Sheridan has 2, Carly Doherty also has 2, Maggie Grant, who's about to inbound the ball, she has 10, and Brooke Wilson off the bench has 4.
And here's the Patriots here. Gabby Casey leads Lansdale with 8, Bocella has 3, McHugh has 2, Solino has 2, and Aaron Clark has 1 point off of the 1 free throw that she made. Starters back in here for the Patriots.
Mentioned the starters back in. We didn't see Doherty for about the last 4 minutes in that second quarter as O'Neill ties up the 3, and it's good.
Grace O'Neill, her second three-pointer. She's got 8 now. It's going to be important to get her going, not only for the end of this game, but also against this Wood game coming up on Tuesday.
And also didn't mention her in the scoreboard, but Chloe Blackley, who played in that first half, she had a couple steals.
Bocella, after she made her first, she's been off from 3. It's going to be O'Neill the other way to Taylor Wilson. Nice look there. Taylor going up, but it's blocked nicely there by Edwards. It'll be Gabby Casey the other way.
Lansdale, they've only used 1 member off their bench. That was Aaron Clark. And they did use Caitlin Quinn at one point, but still looking very tired are their starters. Very slow-paced basketball is how they like to play their offense.
Casey forces up 2. That won't go. Grant with the rebound, and it'll be Sheridan now. Meg Sheridan loses it, but gets to Taylor Wilson. There's a cutting Grace O'Neill, who lays it up and in for 2. O'Neill already has 5 here in this third quarter. She's got 10.
She already matches her first half total.
Yes, she does. We really didn't see O'Neill look for a shot too much in the first half. But getting going here. Carroll leads this one by 20.
Tommy, you mentioned it. Casey, she led her team with 8 points in that first half. She definitely wants to get a lot more on the scoreboard here.
She's going to need to. She hasn't really gotten much help from the rest of her team. As Doherty with the steal. Carroll running the other way. O'Neill, Sheridan fakes into the lane to Doherty. Back to Maggie Grant for 3. No good. Rebound fought for and won by Edwards. She has Solino going the other way, but she pulls it out to Gabby Casey, who can't find the handle. Taylor Wilson tries to save it, diving. Good effort there from Wilson, but it's going to stay here with the Lady Crusaders as we see Caitlin Quinn check in for the first time here in the second half. She's going to get McHugh.
Very interesting. We didn't see Lansdale make a change. So probably about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. But with under 6 minutes left in the third quarter, they've already made substitution.
Looks like Lansdale trying to go for a quicker lineup here as Edwards is on the floor. She's tied up by Doherty. And that's going to stay here with Lansdale. But a very balanced attack here from the Patriots. O'Neill and Grant both with 10. Taylor Wilson with 8.
Very interesting there. Edwards looked a little annoyed that none of her teammates came to help her when she was on the floor.
O'Neill steals that one away. She's pushed by Bocella. That's going to be a foul. Olivia Bocella's 3rd there. That's not really what you wanted to do. O'Neill didn't look like she was going to the basket. She looked like she was going to pull that back and set up the offense, but she's pushed. We're going to see Courtney Kovacs for the first time getting Edwards.
Tommy, only 4 fouls committed in the game as we see Wilson the 3, no good. Only 4 fouls committed by Lansdale, and 3 of them are by Bocella. But Carroll, Meg Sheridan, she has 3, so something to keep an eye on for her.
That is true as Casey now drives on Grant. Good defense from Maggie Grant there. Bocella now into the lane, puts up 2. It's going to be on the floor. Looks like that's going to be on Maggie Grant. But that's only Grant's first.
That's something this girls team does so well. They make sure that they don't foul, especially with the press. They do it a lot, and they make sure they don't foul on that press when trying to force a turnover.
Casey goes up nicely for 2, but leaves that short. Maggie Grant wrestles that away from her as Casey falls to the ground. Carroll has numbers the other way. O'Neill, Taylor Wilson stops for 2, rattles out. O'Neal tracks down the miss though, driving in, goes up and she's fouled. Looks like that's gonna be, see who that one is on. That's gonna be on Bocella again, that's her 4th. So now Olivia Bocella in some serious foul trouble. As Grace O'Neal knocks down her first in the line. O'Neal now leads all scorers with 11 as Brooke Wilson checks back in for the first time in the second half for Meg Sheridan.
So, I mean, that last possession, defensively and offensively for the Patriots, that's been the whole game for them. The hustle from Grace O'Neal to grab the rebound and Maggie Grant to force that ball loose, just showing how Carroll showing that their athleticism in this game.
O'Neal now with a game-high 12. She led Carroll in scoring the last time these two teams met with 16. That ball is deflected out of bounds off of Lansdale, and it's going to be Carroll basketball as this one has really gotten away from Lansdale, who hung around in the first quarter, but the Patriots just too much.
Yeah, Patriots too much defensively, and now their offense for the Patriots definitely in tune now.
Brooke Wilson throws that one away. It's going to be Casey now, guarding the other way. Gabby Casey, O'Neal on her. Casey has 8, but they have made it difficult for her. Kovacs to Quinn. And now Casey again. Quinn in the middle, nice find. She puts up a awkward looking shot there, no good. Carroll the other way now. Grant has O'Neal if she wants her. Grace O'Neal, kick it to Brooke Wilson. Underneath to Grant, puts up a mid-range 2, leaves that short. Doherty fighting for the rebound, wins it. Underneath, Grant to O'Neal. Good ball move from the Patriots. Brooke Wilson thought about a 3. Now she kicks to Doherty, who will take one just inside the line. No good. It's going to be Solino who wins that away up to Bocella with those 4 fouls. She just loses that one out of bounds. Still 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, but it'll be interesting to see how long Coach Shields keeps these Carroll starters in the game. Definitely want to build out a bigger lead than what you have right now. But with that big matchup looming on Tuesday, Carroll's really going to want some rest, especially coming off this back-to-back that they're playing today. In that game yesterday, as Grant thought about a 3, now kicks it. Brooke Wilson with a nice look to Doherty. Now Maggie Grant will put up a 3. Taylor Wilson fighting for the rebound. On the ground, it's going to be Casey, wins that one away.
Doherty just played straight up defense and forced the turnover
and
without even moving a hand.
Wilson went to O'Neal there off of the steal as the Crusaders have really had trouble even getting the ball past half court now. As we see Elena Siccocelli here for the first time.
And the Crusaders really emptying their bench here. Kovacs.
O'Neal left open for 3. Puts it in. Grace O'Neal. She's got 15 and 10 here in the third quarter.
Watch out, Lansdale. Grace O'Neal hot from 3. That's her 3rd of the game. And I don't think she's done yet.
Carroll building this lead out to 25. Played some excellent defense as they so often do, holding Lansdale to 16 points. Brooke Wilson looks like she goes straight up there, but she's going to get called for the foul, sending Casey to the line. And we're going to see Meg Sheridan check back in, as well as Chloe Bleckley for the first time here in this second half.
That's Wilson's 2nd.
Casey knocks down the free throw.
And with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this third quarter, that's the first points for Lansdale in the second half. And in this quarter alone.
O'Neal and Wilson sit. As Casey in the double figures now with 10. The next highest scorer is Bocella with 3. So it's really been Gabby Casey doing it tonight for Lansdale. Underneath, good ball movement is Bleckley. Grant, Wilson, fakes into the lane, goes up, is fouled, and gets it to go. Brooke Wilson finishes through contact, and we'll have an opportunity for one more at the line.
Great job by Brooke Wilson fighting through the contact. We've seen it earlier in the game. I believe it was Brooke Wilson who went into 3 defenders, and she did it again there.
Brooke Wilson gets the free throw to roll, and that's going to be 7 for her. That foul is on Siccacelli, her first, as she's getting her first run of the game here in the third.
Looks like Carroll's Tommy starting to unload that bench as number 33, Lizzie Hennessy, looks to check in.
Casey misfires from 3. Rebound fought for and won by Solina, but she's instantly trapped and she steps out of bounds. Let's go in the other way. As Hennessy's going to get Carly Doherty. As we see, only 2 starters remain right now for the Patriots, Meg Sheridan and Maggie Grant. Hennessy, fresh off the bench, tees up a 3. Leaves it short.
Looked like it went in with the way the net kind of swished around, but the ball actually hit it on the underside.
Solina now into the lane. Nice drive there from Solina, but can't get that to go. It'll be Brooke Wilson leading the charge for the Patriots. She gets all the way into the lane, kicks to Hennessy with the mid-range 2, long. Hennessy looking for a shot here off the bench. It's going to be Casey now. Sheridan on her. Meg Sheridan with those 3 fouls.
Surprising that she's still in here, but we'll probably see her take a break after this third quarter comes to an end.
Grant draws it free, and it's going to be Brooke Wilson now the other way, who stops, pumps, goes up. No call. And it's going to be Carroll basketball here underneath.
I believe it went off of Lauren Edwards there.
Luckily now off the inbounds to Grant. 30 seconds to go here. Brooke Wilson left alone for 3. She knocks in another. Brooke Wilson now into double figures with 10.
And Brooke Wilson, according to what we've seen up here, probably a couple rebounds shy of a double-double. That would be great for her on her birthday.
Absolutely a great performance here as there's 3 seconds on the clock. It's going to be Casey with it now. Flips up a wild shot. Nothing doing there. As this third quarter comes to a close, Carroll leading this one 47-18. In command of this one. If you look at the standings in the PCL, Carroll sitting currently in 4th. Only a half game back of O'Hara. They will go in a tie for 3rd once this game ends. But Carroll's remaining schedule, after LCU today, they have Wood Tuesday. Then they're at Prendy, at West, and home against Newman Goretti. These are all very big games for Carroll. They could probably afford to lose one more and still have a decent chance at that championship game. But as we were mentioning, these playoff scenarios, things could get complicated. And I was looking at a scenario, it's unlikely, a lot would have to happen, but there could be a 3-way tie between Carroll, O'Hara, and West Catholic for that second spot, and it'd be interesting to see what the PCL does there. For that to happen, Wood would have to win out, which many expect them. That they have some tough games left, but they definitely could do that. But if West wins out and loses to Carroll and Wood, that would give them 4 losses. If O'Hara wins out but lost to West Catholic, that would give them 4 losses. And if Carroll won the remainder of their games but lost to Wood, that would also give them 4 losses. So that would create a very interesting scenario. Like I said, a lot would have to happen, but it'd be interesting to see what the PCL does there in terms of tiebreakers, as each team would have 4 losses in that scenario. But definitely a interesting scenario that the PCL put themselves in, as they only are doing a championship this year, not doing any playoffs. A decision that we're still questioning, Billy, but...
Most definitely, Tommy. And one thing, if you're Carroll, yeah, you have the tough game against Wood and another one against West Catholic, but you got to win the games that you should win against Newman Goretti and Bonner Prendy.
Yes, Newman Goretti, a pretty solid team, too, so they could definitely play spoiler here, as Brooke Wilson throws that one out of bounds, can't connect with Meg Sheridan. But Newman Goretti is all but eliminated here in the championship contention, but they're still a solid team that could cause some trouble and play spoiler for some of these top teams who are fighting for this championship berth.
Definitely, and other teams, maybe even Lansdale. We know they're getting beat today by Carroll, but you never know if they got a surprise or an upset that they could pull off against Wood or West Catholic or O'Hara.
You're right, and we saw Prendy do that as Grant tees up a 3. Won't go. Prendy did that to West Catholic on the road. Carroll still has to go there. That's never an easy place to play. For Carroll, obviously, they need to win some big games, but they need to take care of business in games that they're supposed to win, and that's what they're doing today. Very encouraging from the Patriots coming off of those 2 losses. Casey now. Same 5 on the floor for the Patriots as that one's airball by Edwards that were on the floor to end the 3rd quarter. But we'll see how long Sheridan and Grant stay in. It's nice to see Meg Sheridan running the show for the Patriots in the point guard role as O'Neal sits. Maggie Grant goes all the way in and lays in 2. Grant has 12 now. As Carroll extends his lead to 31, and it looks like we're going to have a running clock here as when a team goes over 30. The clock will not stop. I believe only on free throws will it stop.
Looks like number 12, Michaela Henry, gonna check in. Carroll really starting to unload their bench here.
It's gonna be Casey. Sheridan on her again. Casey spinning in the lane, forces up a tough shot, leaves that short. Gabby Casey has 10 points, but the Patriots have given her nothing easy today. It's been some great defense on her, especially from Sheridan.
Looked
That
like
one's
Edwards
turned over.
might have stepped out from up here, Tommy.
Now it's going to be Caitlin Quinn in the lane. She kicks. Siccacelli will try a 3, leaves that short. Bleckley runs down the rebound. Patriots still pushing the tempo here as Brooke Wilson gets it. Definitely fouled there. Late call, but a good foul. And that one's going to be on Quinn. That'll be her 2nd.
That'll actually be Quinn's first.
It's going to be Brooke Hippert checking in for Bleckley, and Michaela Henry in now.
For Meg Sheridan. And that only leaves Maggie Grant as the lone starter in the game for the Patriots, Tommy.
Carroll has extended this lead to 33 points here, as it's been all Carroll after the first 8 minutes. Siccacelli's pass to no one as that one goes out of bounds. You're right, Maggie Grant is the only starter remaining for the Patriots. We'll see how long she stays in, as we still got 5+ left in this one.
And there is a substitution that Carroll could make to get Grant out of the game. She misses the 3 there.
Henry with the rebound, goes up and is fouled.
Julia Kraski, the lone player who has yet to get in the game yet.
It's nice to see the Carroll starters encouraging Henry on that foul call as she goes to the line. Henry misses that one off the front of the rim, but she'll have one more. Aaron Clark checks in now. Siccacelli. Nice looking free throw from Henry there. She splits a pair. She's got her first point of the game. Carroll out to a 34-point lead. Casey's still in here, trying to manufacture something. Into the lane is Quinn. She turns around. A nice looking turnaround jumper there from Aaron Clark. That's her first field goal. She has 3 points. It's going to be Hippert in the corner. Brooke Wilson to Henry. Henry drives in, stops, pulls it out, gets it back to Brooke Wilson. Grant to a cutting Henry, who's taken down. And that's going to be on it's going to be on Clark, excuse me.
Actually, that will be on Siccacelli. That's her third. Great job by Quinn. Looked like she tipped the inbounds pass.
It'll be Siccacelli here now. Picks up her dribble. Gets it to Quinn. Now to Edwards.
And it looks like Maggie Grant's time is almost up, and Julia Kraski looks to check in.
Casey now into the lane, kicks in the corner. Quinn not looking to shoot that one though. Casey tries to go to her. She instead will take a falling away jumper. She knocks it down. Gabby Casey with 12. Cuts this Carroll lead to 30. But Coach Shields calls a timeout. Looks like Maggie Grant's day will be done. We said a very balanced attack from the Patriots, led by Grace O'Neal, those 15 points. Grant with 12. Brooke Wilson also with 12. Taylor Wilson has 8, and a very encouraging win here for the Patriots. But there's some big games throughout the PCL that are left. As I mentioned earlier, West Catholic still has to play Wood and Carroll, but they'll get Carroll at home. O'Hara really has the easiest remaining schedule of those 4 teams. They have to play West Catholic, but other than that, that's their most challenging game left. They'll get West Catholic at home, though, after they lost to them on the road by 1. Even though there are no playoffs, it does make every regular season game that much more important, as Carroll's handling business today as Bleckley puts up a 3. Off the backboard, no good. As it's nice to see these Carroll players, as Lansdale Catholic will get control via the jump ball. It's nice to see these Carroll players who, a lot of them swing for JV and varsity, get some minutes here, as they've played limited JV games this year, only 4 JV games. Getting some big game experience here, even though this game is well in hand. Still fighting hard to the very end, as Quinn with another turnaround. Off the backboard, no good, but Casey cleans up the miss there. Gabby Casey has 14, has been far and away Lansdale's most impressive player. But they look like they're gonna fall to 0-7, as Casey rejects that attempt from Hennessy and she brings it up the other way. She steps into a 3, short. Rebound fought for. Bleckley tries to save it in the corner, and she does very nicely there. And Bleckley will set it up here for the Patriots to Hennessy. Hennessy stops to Bleckley. 1:20 remaining here. Just over a minute left here. Carroll is going to improve to 5-3 in the red division, 6-3 overall, in a game that they needed to win to keep those championship hopes alive. And they've handled business.
Definitely, Tommy. We talked about how important the Wood game is on Tuesday, but Carroll had to get a job done here today, and they definitely did it.
Henry to Bleckley. Bleckley overshoots Hippert there in the corner. And we're going to see Carly O'Connell for the first time in this one. So you have Edwards and Casey, the only remaining starters for Lansdale, as this one goes to 30 seconds. Looks like that foul is going to be on Michaela Henry. But don't go anywhere after this one, because Billy Engler's going to have a post-game interview with our player of the game. Fitting to give this one to freshman Brooke Wilson on her birthday. So Billy's going to have that coming up shortly after this one, as Carroll looks to hold this one and dribble out the clock on a very impressive win, coming off the second game of this back-to-back, 52-24. It was all Patriots in this one, as they can now look ahead to that showdown with Archbishop Wood here at home on Tuesday. As I said, in just a moment, Billy's going to go down and find Brooke Wilson for this interview. And thank you to Pure Fire Pizza and Collegeville for tuning into this one, and we appreciate you putting the game on your TVs, at your restaurant. Everyone go check out Pure Fire Pizza for some great PCL action in the future. Kids eat free on Sundays as well.
I'm pleased to be joined now by our player of the game, Brooke Wilson. Brooke, happy birthday. How good was this win for both you and your team?
It was a really good win. We really needed it as a team, especially bouncing back from 2 losses.
How fun is it to play with your sister Taylor and with all your teammates?
It's so fun. I played with her in grade school, but it's so great to play with her at like a high school level.
And I want to turn it over to Coach Shields now. Coach, how good is it to have Brooke Wilson, a freshman, come off the bench and score so good for you?
Obviously, it helps us a ton. She gives us a lot of energy to come off the bench. It's not much her offense that we like. We love our defense and our energy level.
And Coach, how important was this win for you today, especially with implications for championship game?
Well, I think every game's a big game for us. You just can't take any team for granted. And after a tough loss yesterday, the kids came back and played really well today.
Thank you for joining me, Brooke and Coach Shields. We'll tune it up for Tommy for the end of the game.
All right, so for executive producer Devin Gallagher, Audrey Becker and Andy Lynch on camera, for our color commentator Billy Englert, I'm Tommy Anderson. Have a great Sunday, everyone, and roll Pats.